me quickly have a look at TRVL. So obviously the video yesterday wasn't necessarily too pleasant for people watching. Um, I don't think it's I don't think like that. I think it's good to have conversations. I think it's good to be open and honest and just talk about the issues. Why not? Yeah. I think that's what people want. People want honesty. People want the truth. People want uh, the issues to be bashed out. And sometimes you can't, sometimes you can't not upset people or be upset, but that's fine. That's that, we're emotional people, and that's good because it just means we care. Really, that's all it means. So if you have a little bit of a, if you have a little bit of a kind of, whatever, disagreement, and I think when it comes to crypto, like money is at stake in people's investments, people's lives, people's livelihoods are at stake, life power. And so I just want to protect that. And to protect that, you just need the token price to keep on going up. And you protect people's investments. And actually that grows the business faster as well. That will grow Dtravel faster. And so because it means that it releases me, it releases everyone who's invested to grow it. So we become the people to grow it effectively. But that we will release by when the value of the token goes up. This is really important in a crypto market, that the token price goes up. And so Cynthia addressed the issues in Telegram yesterday, and to her credit, I think she did quite a good job in alleviating some of, or dispelling some of the anxieties, because she gave some quite confident and very reasonable and rational, logical answers. We might have a disagreement on certain aspects of the why, but in terms of whether it's possible or not, then obviously we have to meet certain criteria. And if you go to the Telegram group and have a look, you'll see the criteria. She lists them out. And so we have to just kind of work harder, I guess, and make that happen. And so really we're still at the beginning. It's obvious that we're still at the beginning. And I posted some kind of big limit order sales that were posted on Gate yesterday on TRVL, and it's a lot of TRVL that was on sale yesterday. It was about 40 million, and that's concerning for everyone, because if those people or persons decided to sell at market, then that would be a problem for us, because we just don't have the liquidity to support that price, to support those prices. And so I think it's really important that we try our best to to collaboratively do that. If we're involved, if we're invested, why not? Whatever you do to grow and to boost Dtravel boosts your investment. And so that's kind of at the stage we're at the really beginning. We still have things to talk about, and one of those things is to do with the wider, the marketing and stuff like that. But I'll leave that conversation for another day. I think we're coming to test some kind of support level here. It doesn't look bad. If you just look at it like this and just have the volume profile in there, it doesn't look bad. Like, I don't think now, like, I mean, literally is the worst time to sell now, because look, we're just at the bottom of the range. We've just come back to test the bottom of the range. Yeah, there was a failed auction here and here, but we've had two failed auctions here and here. Like, it's not a big deal, really, isn't it? We're getting failed auctions at the edges of the range. Yeah, and so I don't think, what the worst case scenario, I think I'd love to see a bottom here, right? Worst case scenario, we're putting a bottom here or here. Like, literally there's only two worst case. This is the worst case scenario in my mind. It's terrible for a lot of people, but I'm just saying that if you see how this is behaving, the problem is, again, you don't want people to market sell, because we don't have the liquidity to support the price. That's detrimental to the kind of conversations. These conversations that we're having have to be resolved, because investor confidence is priority number one, I think. And so you know, I'm not planning to sell. So don't think that just because I'm raising questions or trying to solve issues, I'm thinking about selling. I'm not thinking about selling at all. Okay. If I lose all my money because of TRVL, then it's not a big deal, because you know, you win some, you lose some. That's life, and I'm enjoying the journey. But I don't think that's going to happen, you know, because whatever happens, whatever happens, we're just range bound, aren't we? And we just eventually we have to break out. And I think in the context of the market cap and what the project is, the breakout is to the upside. And so naturally, if you're ever going to get an impulsive move on the price action, it has to be from the bottoms. Don't think impulsive moves don't really begin at the top. So you either have continuation of a previous impulsive move, or you have a kind of a rejection. But the impulsive moves begin at the bottom. Yeah, so you have to bear that in mind. So no one should be thinking about selling here. I don't, you know, regardless of what happens, and whether the liquidity is underneath us is bad or not, that question is irrelevant if you're not selling. The reality is we're probably looking for another impulsive move sometime in the future. If this support level here holds, and even if it doesn't, I think eventually what will happen is we'll round just like we have in the past. There's no reason why, and then it will pump, and the pump potential in this token, even within the context of this range, is really good. You know, it's not even bad. Like, if people are just thinking themselves, well, I don't want to wait for higher prices because I'm not confident that we'll get there. You just let it pump X amount, and then you just take profit, and you know, that's not a big deal. It's not a big problem, and see what happens. But this is kind of the right place to be buying. I was looking at the daily time frame, and I saw that I saw that here. You see how we've put in a higher high on the daily time frame here, higher high, and you see here we're coming back to test these lows here. We're kind of here again, and so I kind of think we're just coming back to test these lows, and again, the problem with this is that because it's a low market cap, any single person can actually impact this. So it's very hard to read candles and structure and stuff. And so you have some ideas, but it's not 100%. In compared to like Bitcoin, this is not as accurate. It's definitely not as accurate. It's in some ways it's very inaccurate, but the ideas are still the same. And so effectively, we kind of, you know, we're in that range, and we're kind of in this range still, and it's quite illiquid, and that's why you're getting these big moves. And so if you're trading small amounts, it's easy, it's relatively easy to make money, but when you're trading bigger amounts, it's impossible because the price moves too much. And you know, I don't know, I mean, if Bitcoin really has to break up for this to kind of start pumping, but Slurf pumping is a really good sign. So the fact that Slurf is pumping for the market, it tells you that we're almost at the bottom. If memes start pumping, then you've got to think to yourself, we're at the bottom. No, if Slurf is just pumping, yeah, so Slurf is pumping. So look at that. So, well, I mean, what can I say? I have a little bit of pullback now, but look at that, bit of a pumpy, and it's been quite bullish. And so that kind of gives you a little bit of a clue about other tokens. And so definitely not the right place to sell. Oh, look at this, a little bit of a buy up now on the 3-minute time frame. I think what people have to realize is also they've got some big news and stuff coming, and that's really key. So that should get the wider markets to take a slice out of TRVL, and naturally they're going to be market buying. And in that moment, hopefully the market will be ready to go up. Hopefully. Hi Dan, how's it going? I'm not going to be on for long because I have to go, but I will answer your questions, and then I'm probably going to go if you don't mind. Let's go back to the TRVL. We're in TRVL now. So I think this is a really amazing candle. Yeah, like an inverse hammer. The question is it at support? So the inverse hammers are only good when you're at support. Yeah. If this is a continued downtrend and we're not actually at support, then it's bad, isn't it? Yeah. but I don't think it's bad because we closed higher, so it's only bad if it's a bull trap, but you don't usually get bull traps here. You usually get bull traps in the highs, not in the lows. So it's not you. I don't think it's a bull trap either. It could just be a market buy. Someone just took a slice out of TRVL, and now the price is kind of still at the same place, and so you can almost ignore these two candles here and just imagine that, or these three candles. You can almost ignore these three candles if you can kind of imagine away these three candles. And just put that red candle, kind of, you'll just still hear the price is still kind of just trying to find support. That was a bunch of people selling at market. Here's a bunch of people buying at market, but the market is still here inside of that weekly doji at the bottom, to be fair, but it's still there. And so it's obviously not bullish yet. Okay, so it looks bullish, but not yet, just because we have to see where the price finds support. And so you're getting buy-ups, but that's not telling us where the price is finding support. It's just telling us where people are buying. And so that's a clue for this is a good place to buy, but we're not seeing like buying tails or wicks that we want to see, where the price just can't go down. I don't know if we're going to see that, because for whatever reason, if the market, I don't know if the market's fully corrected, and you might get a situation in the market where it hasn't fully corrected, but because of news and timing and Bitcoin and just the natural growth of the business, you suddenly get some market buying and you'll end up with gaps. And that's just how a lot of these smaller tokens begin. Yeah, the bullish sentiment of the coin prevents the price going lower. It doesn't mean it's at support or natural support, and that natural support is just the balance of the market between the natural buying and selling of people. And so we may not be there yet, but it doesn't necessarily matter, because if you get into a situation where Bitcoin is starting to pump, then you'll just get market buying. Over time, that base level will ascend. It'll just be, we just wouldn't have got close to it now, maybe, who knows. Eventually we will. It'll just slowly go up and up and up. And so that's why, you know, you get this selling and you're not getting, so we have, you see that red wick? That's basically what I'm talking about. So that's like a buying tail, and actually this actually is support, isn't it? You've got the buying tail. That's basically telling you that there's, and it's a red candle, and that's what you want to see. You want to see like a red wick, and that's basically the people have sold, and the price has not been able to go down. So we are kind of testing support here in the context of these candles. And what you want is, now you want a green after these ones. It's we've kind of lost the low a bit, but again, this is illiquid, so it's not exactly accurate. But you do then need the price to go up. Okay, it can't just be here. So, and that's the daily time frame, isn't it? It does look like we're underneath it though, but so I want to make sure that we close above it today, or end up with a green day, and that would be good as well. And so yeah, we started off selling. So I think that weekly candle just represents just a one market buy, but not necessarily means that the down is over. And confirmation, as I said before, is market structure change. And so the problem is, do you buy here or do you buy higher? And the problem is, when you buy, you can't really buy large amounts. If the price was to go up there and you wanted to buy large, it'd be impossible, because then you'd be buying up there. If you wanted to buy large amounts. So if people are trying to buy larger, unfortunately, they have to scale in. And if people have large amounts, and you either scale out with limit orders, small limit orders, and just scale out, or you just wait for the pumps, and then you just try and sell a little bit at the top of the pump. So really, that's the only two ways to exit from these low token coins. And it's not really even an exit. Like, if people are using this as a kind of a long-term savings account or bank or whatever, and you just have to change your mindset about how you draw on your investment. And so you're just basically waiting for two conditions. You're waiting for the pumps. Any pumps you can sell into that, and then in the dips you can use. It's like there's a withdrawal period, which is the pumps, and there's a put money in period, which is the dips. You know, and it's kind of a seasonal, long-term, higher time frame bank account. Yeah, if you picture it like that, then it's perfectly fine. But until it grows, and that's what we want, and that's what we need. Or you can just put tiny limit orders whenever you want to take some value, and then when you put value back in, you just put limit orders and just let the market do its thing. On average, on a higher time frame market, the growth is up. Yeah, and so if you just scale in and scale out, then you won't really, the price won't really impact, as long as the strategy is always the same, which is a continuous dollar costing average on a periodic basis, and it has to be the same amount. And so if anyone has done that and has continuously does that over a long period of time, they're not going to be too bothered about the price fluctuations, because the base should be growing, and we're at the base. We're a very small, tiny market cap startup with a really amazing project potential. Okay, now the difficulties is that I'm having with certain aspects of whatever, yeah, is because I just want the project to become what I imagine it to be now. You know, like I'm desperate for it to happen now because of the context of the Bitcoin bull market. Yeah, and so I'm kind of just trying to figure out how we can grow faster, and you know, and the fact that, you know, when I make comments about certain aspects of whether the token price and the team or whatever, I just think that DAO has, you know, we've got a lot. I've noticed there's a lot of smart people who have TRVL, and you know, we could get wider participation in the growth and the direction. And I think that's the idea, isn't it? I think if we want this to be some kind of autonomous creation that exists forever on the internet, decentralized, like autonomous in the future, then it needs to be decentralized in every aspect of its existence. And then you end up with these DAOs that kind of exist in cyberspace, which actually control aspects of our lives in the real world, which is what Dtravel is. It will be like this autonomous, decentralized entity that exists on the internet that facilitates this kind of real world transaction, and it'll be and really then you don't really want that kind of centralized management. It has to be through kind of consensus, and that power has to be with people like me, token holders, you know, and that will bring value to the token, because if someone wants a piece of it, they're going to have to buy the token. Yeah, if someone wants a piece of that power, a piece of that future autonomous entity that exists on the internet, which controls a real world aspect of our lives, they're gonna have to buy the token. So that will bring it a different kind of value. You know, you can talk about, oh yeah, I want staking, or I want this and that and rewards, but the real value will be in the control of the DAO. Yeah, that's where the real value will be. So whoever has the most tokens has most control over the DAO, and the DAO is going to be growing and growing over time. It's going to be so big, it'll be unstoppable. And so I just want us to get into that stage a little bit quicker, and it just gives people the kind of it gives me more incentive to accumulate more token, really, and then people who have a large amount of token, they can submit proposals if they have proposals, and then the community can and eventually you kind of want that. It's kind of like a Switzerland, isn't it? It's like a kind of direct democracy in a sense, isn't it, a little bit? But that's kind of what I envision for the future, and then let's see if we can get there. Obviously I don't want people to exit, and so obviously I'm trying my best to kind of raise the issues. And the reason why I'm trying to raise the issues is because it helps people to not exit. I think it helps people to not sell, because as long as there's one person out there fighting for the cause, fighting for the voiceless or whatever, then people will be a little bit more confident to hang around a little bit longer and see what happens, you know, regardless of the price. And so hopefully I can kind of give people that kind of semi-assurance that I am just like all of us, all of everyone out there, an investor, and I just want this to grow. And obviously I have my own personal reasons too, because I'm an Airbnb host, and I would like to take out a slice out of them too, so that would be quite fun. Anyway, so that was TRVL. I don't know why I've switched to this screen, but I don't know if there's any questions, Dan, or anyone, Craig, or anyone. It's a tricky one because these minor kind of mini coins, usually they pump at the end of all the pump season, and up. I think the more and more we start seeing other tokens pump, the more you're going to start seeing this turn. Yeah. So if you surf is pumping, and then if you start seeing a few other tokens pumping, and it's going to be quite annoying for a lot of people here because everything's pumping and TRVL hasn't. But what usually happens is that the anticipation starts to build, and people start to slowly accumulate more aggressively, and you start to get a flip between buying and selling. People stop selling now because they see that everything's pumping, and so they hold now. They're not selling anymore. And so naturally, it doesn't mean this is going to pump immediately, but once that anticipation builds, eventually you get a situation like we had before, this kind of range bound, and then you'd start seeing kind of impulsive price action to the upside. And so we kind of had a little bit of an impulsive kind of thing here, haven't we? So maybe like just looking at it like this, maybe we are, I don't know, maybe we're, it looks like it could be maybe there is like an 1 2 3 4 5 going on here, just looking at it now. I don't know, I'm just kind of it's not easy to, it's possible. Impulse, ABC, impulse. I can't really see 5 waves there, but there probably is 1 2 3 4 5. And then maybe we're in a kind of like a deeper ABC. If this is correct, and actually this is perfectly this is the right place to buy. Look, 4 coming in to test the top of 1. This really has to hold here for this idea to be correct. And then 1 is smallest, 3 is bigger. Then you want to, you want a bigger 5, don't you? That's kind of what I don't know how high you would go, but potentially based on this idea. That went to the almost to the, it went to the 2.272. Yeah, these ratios are absolutely correct. We're coming back to the 0.68 for a test here. You see that? You see the lining up of the ratios, and you can see how where the candles find resistance and find support. So they are correct based on this kind of extension. So if this holds support here, it probably should. And then, you can do another same thing, really. Do a little bit of another, maybe from the 2 to the 3. Let's say we stop here. Then, 1 to 1 is taking us to 5. Okay. That would be a higher high on the daily time frame. That would be a bullish market structure change right there. So potentially this is the right place to buy, actually, Dan. Just kind of doing a little bit of an analysis on that. Oops. Just underneath the golden pocket. So this is a tricky one. You kind of want to wait for it to come back above the golden pocket, to be honest with you. Before that would be what you want to see first. So because you just don't know, you've got a falling wedge here of sorts, and these falling wedges usually break up, but in a small percentage they break down. Yeah, so you just That's why you usually with these kind of, you kind of wait for the golden pocket to be reclaimed into support first. That would be better. And then if it did, and you saw a little bit of impulsive buying, then absolutely take it right up to 5 cents. That's a big move potentially. 43%. If that would be perfect, huh? That would be a really good move. 1-to-1, higher high on a daily time frame. That's a bullish market structure change. So Carlos Perez, hi from Argentina. Welcome. Nice to have you. So yeah, that's quite interesting. Huh? I think that's quite good. I don't, last time we had a little bit of kind of a bit of a fisticuffs in Dtravel. It was back in January. We were talking about the tokenomics, and the price only went up from that moment on, didn't it? So maybe maybe this is cyclical. Let's have a little bit of a fight, and then let's just make up and let the price pump. Oh yeah, the comparison with ADA. What time is it? Got a little bit of time. Carlos, you're welcome anytime. That ADA broke because ADA, I was expecting a TRVL to make another all-time low and when ADA did and the TRVL didn't, and then obviously ADA pumped to the moon to the all-time high, and TRVL didn't. So there's a lot of things that broke. It was nice up to a point, and as with everything, it doesn't. Nothing good lasts forever. Why did I put 8 on? Oh, there it is. Let me just change that to max, just so I don't mess about my Bybit one. Oh my gosh. So I've still got all of that, haven't I? From before. So if I kind of bring it to, you see how here, oh, why is this doing this? I think I've got to, right. Looking at the weekly time frame, and it was here, wasn't it? So we kind of came up here. This is the halving. You see that blue line? That was the halving. And so in this, on the left side, the halving, when was it? It was April. It was in April, wasn't it? There. It was like there. So unfortunately, very different now. Huh? So it kind of matched to a point down here, up, down, kind of up, down. And then here, when we were coming down here, I was thinking roughly around here, the same place of the blue line would go down and then up to follow ADA, and it didn't do that. It just, once we got into this kind of range here for a few weeks, it broke because ADA actually dumped, then pumped. Okay, and instead of us dumping and pumping, we got stuck. We got stuck into a multi-week range. What I wanted to see there was a pump, and that kind of got sold into immediately. It didn't continue. If we would have just had a nice pump there, maybe we could have had a dump there with ADA, taken out the low, just like ADA did there, and from then on it would have continued and continued. So once we got stuck there, once it pumped to 9 cents initially and immediately got sold, and the problem was that it didn't go down as well. So it would have been nice to pump for a few days up to 9 cents here with that wick. That was like kind of like the ADA moment in my mind, and then it just went right back into the range. If it would have continued for a couple more days to do this, it would have been like ADA, and then we would have been like ADA, but it didn't. It just wasn't there. It just wasn't there. Maybe because it wasn't liquid enough. Maybe because it wasn't on derivatives and or whatever. I don't know. Who knows? But you know, ADA is a very well known token. In that, even in their early days, people knew about ADA and they were very bullish on ADA. The wider market was, you know, TRVL, we're relatively unknown, and so therefore I still think potentially you have a similar setup in terms of the way the channel has formed here, if you want to compare it to TRVL. So I don't think there are similarities still, so that doesn't diminish, but we're definitely not following the same path, unfortunately. Would it be nicer? Oh, where's my channel again? I'll just do this. You see that? So kind of in that context, it's similar, isn't it? A little bit. It's just that, and also here you see whatever happened here, what we wanted to do. Look, we see how ADA went up to the bottom of the channel. Really here in this move, we really needed to hit that, take out that high, and we weren't able to do that. That would have been like there, and then we wanted to come back down and find support. You see ADA came back and found support on this launch price, that key level, and we weren't able to do that. Okay, we weren't able to go up, we weren't able to go down. Hold on a second, got a phone call. All right, yeah, so sorry about that. So yeah, so we're definitely different now. We've kind of broken out. It would have been nicer, but that's really what needed to happen. And maybe that still needs to happen. Maybe we still need to take out the high. I think if we are able to break the neckline now, it'll be more explosive for us. Whereas ADA, it was explosive, but you know, I think we're going to be more explosive personally, just because we're a lower liquid token. Hold on, I have to. Oh my god, I'm getting phone calls. Sorry, give me a second. Actually, I think I'm gonna have to go. I hope you don't mind. Let me just